Welcome to February 2024 Psychic Forecast and Channel Messages, and we've got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep this under 40 minutes tonight, just because I respect your time. But there's a lot of information that was coming through. So huge energy shifts are happening this month. We've been talking about that for a while. So we've been vibrationally preparing for at least the last 4 years, people in this community and your communities also. So for tonight's your presentation, tonight's live stream, let's touch a little bit on the numerology and the astrology. I've got I did a little bit of automatic writing earlier, so there's some messages for us from the master teachers from Spirit. We have the psychic forecast. I've got divination cards, recommended practices, um, and things like that. And as I'm talking about that, okay, let me leave this out because they just reminded me of something. So anyway, if you're watching this as a video, we're going to get started in just a minute. I like to give the live people just a moment to get their notifications. So hi, Yvonne. So saying a few quick hellos. And horses, hi, Susan, Michael, Suzette, MDR, and welcome. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Suzette. If I miss you, Roseanne, Jody. So far, that's all that's on. More people watch this as a video than live anyway. So although I'll try to keep an eye on your comments, someone, I'm just going to really work on ripping through this information right now. So what are you saying? The live people notification versus the dead? The dead people don't need a YouTube notification. They get their notifications directly. So they're here also. Hi, KD. Now that we clarified the pronunciation of your name. Hi, KD. Kind of like KD. What's the musician's name? KD Tunstall, or did she spell her name differently than that? Anyways, anyway. All right, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of water, and then we're gonna dive into just some basic astrology and numerology, just to set the flavor. Then we've got the channel messages and the actual forecast. KD Unity, KD Tunstall, right? K initial K, letter D, and Tunstall. That's the musician's name, the singer songwriter, I think. Not my era. I'm a 60s, 70s boy. All right. So, and I'll be looking at my notes a lot just in case you didn't know that already. So anyway, the numerology is very, very important because it's our number one. Well, it's actually a number 10 month in numerology because we're in our 8-year, 2024. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. Then you add 2 for the month of February, you get the number 10. The 10's the wheel of fortune in tarot. And I believe in Chaldean numerology, it has a very similar symbol, the old, or one of the oldest, is not the oldest system of numerology. Basically, the wheel's turning. And usually that's a fortunate thing, but it can go either way. But usually it's fortunate. But the world's turning. And what's happening is we're sort of progressing out of this whole like last 6, 8, 9 months of the Great Purge, and we're really coming into the shift now. So this is really the new Earth awakening that's really happening now. So, but it's also 10 reduces to 1. So again, 1 is new beginnings, a new cycle's beginning. So we are starting a new cycle in our personal lives as well as what's going on in the world out there. Now, Mercury will go into Aquarius on the 5th of February. Big Aquarius, we're in Aquarius season, big Aquarius energy. Let me see, the new moon will be at 20 degrees Aquarius on the 9th. Aquarius is the sign of evolution, of revolution, of community, higher mind, all that kind of good stuff. 20 in tarot is judgment, or in the numerology system, it's the awakening or the awakener. So we've had four successive new moons at 20 degrees. So we've been, through the degree points of the new moons, it's been showing that there's a lot of awakening going on. Now that it's hit the sign of Aquarius, which is very much higher mind, and I think The next new moon is also going to be 5 degrees in Pisces. These are very spiritual opening signs. So it's really, really happening. Next, we have the Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year on the 10th. So, the day after the first new moon of the sign Aquarius. Is the is the Lunar New Year, Shiny New Year. Welcome to the Wood Dragon. So that we're coming to the year of the dragon. Then on the 13th, Mars goes into Aquarius. Then on the 16th, Venus goes into Aquarius. And then we're including the sun. There'll be 5 planets in Aquarius for a time. All planets are direct. Things are moving forward. The full moon in Virgo comes on the 24th at 5 degrees. Virgo's a healing sign that's Mercury ruled. The number 5 is a healing number that's also Mercury guided and Mercury influence. So we're going to have a lot of opportunity because we're going to feel a lot of ups and downs energetically. And a lot of people that get thrown off balance health-wise or emotionally or whatever. Well, it's part of the shift. What we want to do is just to really stay grounded, stay in our power, stay in our presence, stay in our heart. And when we ride the vehicle of the heart, we can withstand any storms because that is the eye of the storm. So remember that. The truth is we don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I call this a psychic forecast rather than psychic predictions. Yeah, I'm making predictions. Not all of them are going to come true, and I'm going to miss a few things. But that said, the flavor and the energetic updates around that and the trends are going to be very accurate, and a lot of stuff will hit, as it's been the case in the past also. So next is this. I'll have to read directly because I did automatic writing. I did not transcribe it. I didn't have time, so it's a little sloppy. Because when we do automatic writing, I'm not really conscious. I'm just kind of writing and writing. And I read it later. It all made sense to me. So anyway, February, there's only 3 pages of this, so it's not super long. So February will be a time of reckoning for many people. On one level or another, people realize they cannot continue living as they have. This is from the master teachers, by the way, or extra dimensional beings of light that are infinitely wise. So people will realize that they cannot live as they have been. This energy will affect everyone, though different people will respond in different ways and take different actions. We would say to prepare for the events ahead, but outside of a few earthly preparations, there really is no way to prepare for what lies ahead for humanity. So the only preparation outside of the mundane and practical we recommend is to learn to cultivate the heart and activate the master frequency through deep presence and heart coherence work. Hearts become coherent when you realize the heart really doesn't exist, but rather is a frequency you've been denied through your social conditioning. But faced with the ultimate change, I can't even read this. Oh, you start to remember who you truly are. Then the heart frequency activates, and who you are beyond the body begins to be revealed. And as you work and cultivate these frequencies, big changes begin to happen in your world. This month is the big shift. Is the big shift. You will notice that more and more systems of your society begin to fail. This is a time of completion as you begin to step on the precipice of a new beginning. This is the time to close old chapters, to balance energy and karma with those who matter, and to let go of the rest who are not in alignment with your vibration at this time. The timeline split, and those not ready will arrive in a reality where learning and growth are paramount as the 3D drama plays out. But you will begin the ascension process to higher dimensional frequencies to continue your evolution as timeless, limitless beings, expanding as the universal code dictates, and experiencing life as unrestricted from the human drama that has brought you to this juncture of personal and collective evolution. And in this reality, the dark forces are overcome, the lessons are learned, and together, in true Aquarian fashion, you will rebuild your world based on spiritual understanding that you are all individual parts of a collective whole. If you are here listening to our words, you are ready to take this shift. So, in other words, you're not going to get stuck in the other reality. Um, Consciously step away from the old fear, anger, and guilt, and embrace the frequencies of love. Our work with you from here on out. This is those, and let me just back up for a second. For those that are new, we do channeling with the master teachers, and it's frequency channeling that they do with us. So, what they're saying is our work with you from here on out will be to guide you through your shift, assist you in your quantum leap to higher vibrational reality until such time as the shift is complete, when a new dawn is reached with new spiritual levels and understanding to aspire to emerge. It doesn't even make sense, but anyway, that's what I wrote. Remember, this is a 1,000-year program. This is the time as evolving souls where you've learned to crawl and now you begin to learn how to walk. Master teachers. Alrighty then. I'm just peeking at your comments here. So yeah, so lots talking about the dragons, and we're coming to the year of the dragon, and the Dragon Summit. I think it's still up on YouTube if you want to check that out. I was one of I think there were 8 or 10 different speakers, for that summit. It's free. It's on YouTube. Okay, so psychic forecast, what I am seeing in the world. Firstly, we'll start with money. We like money, right? Money's not evil or negative. It's not the root of all evil. You could argue that greed is, but money's just energy and frequency, right? So anyway, money and foreign exchange highlighted. Big changes proposed or inactive. Gold highlighted, suggesting push towards gold-backed currency. Now, in all honesty, if you really dig into the news, you already know that this is going on. So it's not really a big psychic revelation on my part, but still, Spirit wanted me to highlight that. So they talk about big winners and big losers in the stock market this month. So if you do invest, know what's coming, know what's happening, anticipate, trust your intuition. That's the main thing. To get all the facts, then let it go, trust your intuition. So companies crash, a push towards a 5 corporation world is what they were saying, or 5 ruling corporations or entities in this world. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what came through. I do know it really, what it amounts to is further centralization of money and power, basically. So the big wigs or the cabal or whatever you want to call them can continue to control and basically enslave humanity, under the guise of free will and freedom, which is what's been going on. So anyway, so heat rising under Anthony Fauci. Well, we talked about this about a year and a half ago, what was going to happen to Anthony Fauci. I have not been able to watch videos, but I know Russell Brand has been talking about this. I don't know what he's been saying. I like to watch his and other people's, but I just haven't had time to do that. But anyways, this is what was coming through. Keep rising under that. Someone involved with the NIAID or CDC steps down this month or maybe next month. I found that sometimes these predictions wind up happening the following month rather than the month. Timelines can change. And again, that reminds me to tell you that nothing's written in stone. Time is fluid. As our vibration changes, it can change a lot of these predictions. That's why it's a forecast, and that's why it's a point of reference. Understand that there's challenges, but if we can rise above it, if we can ascend individually in our lives as well as collectively, then we can avoid a lot of the deeper challenges, as has been the case over the last several years. A lot of what the prophets have been saying, and the really good psychics and astrologers out there, it's not that they were wrong. It's just that some things didn't pan out to the level that was predicted. And I attribute that to our awakening and our collective awakening. So good job, guys, with that. So where are we? He rises under NTVKK. Oil futures hit some kind of record. could be a post-pandemic record low. I mean, oil prices have been dropping, so maybe it's just saying that that may continue. Either that, or I could have it in the exact opposite, and it could just spike right back up again. We never know. But there's something about oil futures that comes up. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the development of the electric vehicles. Industry, stuff like that. But as I'm saying, that's fear saying no, it has to do with the forces that they want to control everything, of course. Could be hints of silver shortage or an important industrial metal. So keep an eye on that. And it may not be a bad time to invest in silver or precious metal. I don't know what gold's doing. Silver, although it bounces up and down, it's pretty much been stable. Doesn't go up or down more than a few dollars unless I haven't checked recently. I mean, I have silver, so I usually check it. Thank you, Susan, for that. So anyway, could be hints of silver shortage or stuff like that. I don't think it's going to happen in February, but we may start to get hints of that or something that's involved in making huge. Now, does anybody know if part of like Raytheon or Lockheed Martin production involves silver? I mean, I know silver is an industrial metal also, even though it's really a semi-precious metal at this point. Silver is cheap, by the way. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So another thing that comes up, supply lines cut off, possibly to create shortages and drive the economy. So, the last shortages that there were visual and video records of ships being held at port, basically, and then saying, there's a supply shortage. Meanwhile, the ships weren't allowed to dock. So what's that all about? What were the Canadian fires about? The fire in Maui, what was that all about? I'm not going to say what I feel about that because it's not proven, but that there are glaring inconsistencies. I'll put it that way. What it means, I'm not 100% sure, but there are glaring inconsistencies with all of this stuff, and it reeks of control and controlling and driving the movement of the masses and driving the movement of this world in order to serve a minute few at the detriment of a great many. So anyway, where are we? Oh god, lots more to talk about here. How are we doing time with 70 minutes? We might get this all in 40 minutes. All right. So lots of news around Trump. Do we need to be psychic to know that? No, we don't. January 6th and recent indictments, all that stuff. So expect more craziness, same old, but it keeps escalating and it keeps deepening the divide. So, again, stay in your heart. I try to keep an open mind about things. I mean, I have certain ideas about what's going on and why they're happening, but I don't know the truth, and the thing is there's so much out there, and there's programs targeting left-wing people, there's other programs targeting right-wing people, and the end game of all that is to confuse, to control, to divide, and to keep and to rob us of our power, basically. So stay in your heart, right? The heart's the center. I don't care about the left wing or the right wing. I care about the bird, the owner of those two wings. It's one party, one political system, a lot of illusion and delusion. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't support a candidate or you shouldn't support an ideal if you have one, just to be aware of the bigger picture. That's all. So another little goodie was Biden, an important political figure, could have a seizure, just seeing somebody falling at the podium. I mean, hope not. Hope everybody's healthy and everything. I don't wish Biden, Trump, or anybody any harm or ill. Just that people wake up. That's all that I hope for, and see through the game and see through the illusion of this whole, what I feel is a mockery of so-called freedom and justice and so-called politics, basically. And it's an emperor's clothes game. More and more people are waking up and realizing that. So anyway, important up-and-coming candidate they attempt to derail by claiming a dark past. That could possibly be Nikki Haley. She would be the female candidate that I saw rising to prominence in January. I mean, I thought maybe it could be Marianne Williamson or one of the other ones, but once DeSantis stepped down, yeah, that became clear. And I give Kaylee a lot of credit for butting heads with Trump, because that's going to be a very interesting unfoldment of events as the debates and everything moves on. Now, of course, we don't know if Trump's going to be indicted or if he's going to be forced to not run or whatever. My feeling is that's probably not the case, despite all the allegations and all the direct I'll say in quotation marks, crimes against the country, because again, it may not be real what we see in the news, but the fact that he's even considered, and because the in the USA and the world for that matter, the opinion of Joe Biden is so low that if he runs and there's nobody else, it's pretty much likely that he's going to win, and that would be very interesting, and it would definitely make life interesting. And who knows? Who knows? I'll just leave it open that way. So next, was it revolutionary or civil unrest, U.S. and Canada, or Western nations that may get ugly? And believe it or not, we're not about gloom and doom around here, even though it may sound that way. We're about spiritual awakening, hope, but not hopium, and an understanding again that we create our reality to 95% subconscious. So anyway, so all right, the facades continue to fall, big tear downs of things in our society, the structures. Phil will see a shadow. I couldn't resist that. That'd be Punxsutawney Phil. Threats or activation or activities on terrorist attack on landmarks. Threats or actualities on terrorist attacks on landmarks. Hopefully not, but let's keep an eye on that. New AI regulations, with over 40% of the internet sounds now being 100% AI generated, and that's going to increase. And much more sophisticated scams are a result of that. And you may be thinking with a person, and you're really interacting with the machine, basically. So it's really kind of getting out of control. It's going to continue that way. I think legislation is going to have to step in to some degree. Cyber attack shuts down up to 50% of important government or financial sites. Keep in mind that the real war is fought on the cyber battlefield. People die on the physical battlefield. It's bloody. It's horrible. It's appalling. But it's even worse what's going on the cyber battlefield, what's going on in the mental landscape with a lot of psychic attacks, frequency attacks. All that stuff is real. And these experiments were being done in the 50s during the Cold War of how to psychically attack nations and how to do things like that. And now they have frequencies. Now they can use technology to make that even stronger. So understand, this is all going on. So should we fear that? No, we should not fear. We should be aware of it, because the heart is always stronger. The human will is always stronger, because it requires human mechanics to make this technology in the first place. And we all draw from the same power source. So no, we should not be afraid, but we should be aware. All right. At least 2, probably 3 profound UFO/alien encounters that continues to be on the rise, maybe on the order of the Miami Mall, for various reasons. But we do have, as I'm very aware of, and many people are, we do have extraterrestrial beings of light, as well as ascended masters that are working with humanity in this time of great awakening, in this time where we're learning to walk. We've been crawling, we're learning to walk as a species now. We have help. Those that created us are helping us, basically. So telescopes like Hubble find Class M planets. Well, that's Star Trek talk. Planets that could conceivably support life. Force division, AI tools for programming and creating false information. So I'm just reading, what I jotted down. Increased police violence in general, racial injustices come to the surface. Unfortunately, sad but true, that's what's going on. racism, sexism, all that stuff is still alive and well, even in the 2020s. World War III threat rolls on. 3 different ideologies begin to get recognized. This may take a little longer than February to pan out, but there's still like these flexing of the muscles. I mean, I feel like it's partially orchestrated or even more so, but whatever the case, whether I'm right or wrong about that, we're seeing more skirmishes, we're seeing more countries getting involved and more attacks, stuff like that. So it's the awakening, it's the shift. The powers that have control over everything do not want to give it up, and war is an amazing tool. Well, it's a horrible thing, but it's an amazing tool for driving the economy, for driving nations, for driving the thought processes of humanity and so forth. And of course, the press's job is to perpetuate that. So more revelations surface on what we've been through over the last several years being some kind of a test run of sorts. I'm not going to speculate because I don't have all the facts on that, but the more surfacing now, it always gets suppressed almost faster than it comes out. So you really have to catch things when they come, because the news stories get dropped very, very quickly if there's a suggestion of that. More info comes out suggesting the virus, the pathogen fused with HIV or some similar retrovirus. Now, this is what we've been saying since 2020, at least myself has been saying that, because that's what Spirit's been telling us. And having had the virus 3 times now, I can attest that there is that quality of retroviruses, things like the what's it called, the long COVID and stuff like that. People are suffering dearly for that. I think I wrote more about that later on, but people are suffering dearly, with long COVID and stuff like that. I think more than most of us know about, honestly. So anyway, more revelation serves on this being some kind of test. I wrote this right down. The phenomena of long COVID gets scrutinized so people understand the true ramifications. Now, how lives have literally been ruined, and why much of it is preventable. So anyway, I'll say this is part opinion, for the algorithm and people that may question that, or maybe educated opinion, but whatever the case. So anyway, this results in new protocols for long COVID, though much of it may be in alternative medicine, but we may see some new protocols in mainstream medicine also as well. So let's hope so. Again, I know a few people, it's not a good thing, really isn't. So a couple more pages here. Need a little more water. So alarming information leaks out on the vaccination experiments and programs as more and more step forward. So keep an eye on that. It's already happening. Could lead to further rescinding of some of the protocols that were put into place. Let's hope so. People lost jobs, people lost livelihoods. And as more and more facts come in, it's becoming more and more apparent that it was unnecessary. And that it was more likely a mechanism of controlling, the thinking and controlling the movements of a society. So there are forces for peace. All right. Also, forces for peace are emerging also. Freedom fighters are coming more out. There may be some connection with some of the military, so keep an eye on that also. I know some of you believe that, based on the ideologies that you follow. So you may actually start to get some evidence to support that thinking. Spiritual awakening, frequency shifting goes off the charts. The foundation of New Earth begins to get built. So this is good news. New spiritual teachers emerge. A young female may emerge as the next Maharaji. And for those that don't understand that reference, the Maharaji was teaching TM, or transcendental meditation, from the age of 16. And I remember him in the 1970s. So we may get not the same, obviously, but we may get a parallel, kind of a thing going on. So the trends towards climate and geocentric upheaval continues. Trends towards fires, record heats, and floods. Later in the month or March, a superstorm may sit off of the Atlantic for days. I'll just say, yeah, I just saw an image in my mind of a big storm in the Atlantic, just with isobars 1,000 miles around it. If this happens, this could flood much of the East Coast coastal areas. This could bring heavy snows to coastal New England, or heavy rains if it's warm enough. And I think it's going to be snow. So anyway, I hope not. I hope that was just symbolic of something else. But yeah, that's weather, and with global warming, whether whatever your beliefs are in it, the earth is warmer, that feeds storms, that makes stronger storms. Anyways, so more stuff centered on our community here. Energy spikes, lulls increase. So be aware of that. The ups and downs will continue to increase. Human resonance has been off the chart. It's supposed to be, or used to be, what was it, 8.6 hertz? I may be getting it wrong. Now, when there's a lot of like a stratospheric activity through things like sprites, and I forgot what they're called, red bursts above the thunderstorms. Sometimes it would spike for a little while, but we're getting spikes in the hundreds and even thousands. I mean, it's just crazy. And it's really like, as I'm talking, Spirit saying it's really, it's the earth's kind of like gyrations that are going on that's causing that. Sometimes the earth herself is purging energy, purging frequencies, a lot of, human karma, for example, and things like that. So it's almost like the earth's breath, as it were, or heartbeat, if you want to call it that, is accelerating, and it's like the oscillations. They're kind of showing almost like a planet, almost like oscillating, basically, as I'm talking about that. So this is a month of new beginnings in our spiritual life. Seek a new practice or a teaching. So also, we need to not be lazy and engage in daily spiritual practices for safe ascension. I can't stress that enough. I've been talking about this for years. It gets more and more important. Have a daily practice. If you don't have one, we do yoga here, thanks to the Children's School of Yoga, aka Doreen, who is on the thread right now. Uh, I'm missing your comments. I apologize for that, by the way. I just want to get through this material, but I see you guys are having a really nice conversation on your own. Thank you so much. So we really need to do that. There's, yoga is not the only game in town. There's lots of spiritual practices, but yoga is tried and true for thousands of years. So are some of the ancient Eastern systems, that Qigong or Tai Chi evolved out of. So there's lots of things. And there's also Western practices. We have the Ascension breath exercises here on my YouTube channel that was channeled through me, and I do it almost every day, and it's really helped me a lot. Mid-month could feature the biggest solar event in decades, so we'll see. But we're at the peak of the 11-year sunspot cycle, so so there's a natural increase, and there's also the ascension or the energy upgrades that are happening to augment that. So yeah, we'll definitely see that. Um, do work to discover your star seed type. So we have meditations here on the channel for that also. Your extraterrestrial guides, your ascended master guides that are working with you. Start to discover them, and if you already have an inkling, work with them more. A lot more people are going to be channeling, especially in this community. So you'll write down what you're getting. And then I wrote down right under that some will start channeling for the first time or upgrade their channeling ability. So that's about it. Yeah, and Children's School of Yoga is talking about the storm that's about to hit the West Coast. So there's been a lot of flooding, a lot of weather out there. They call it the Pineapple Express. Basically, you have to fetch a moisture sets up for 1,000 miles that just dumps on California and the Pacific Northwest also. So that's part of the flooding. So anyways, something important that I don't want to miss here. Sorry about that. I got too many pages of notes apparently. Okay. Here's the recommended practices. Firstly, do and call on Archangel Metatron. I mean, you can call on all the archangels. They're saying specifically Archangel Metatron now. Metatron works in an ascension grid known as the Christ grid, that's of the central sun, and works for like things like what is the right word, for condensing our frequencies, and for because a lot of what we experience in our human life, it fragments us. So this is a force or an energy or a being that helps to recondense our frequencies and work with the heart center. So work with that and do Merkaba activations also. And I'll in the next transmission, I'll ask the master teachers to work with us. We do that from time to time. The Merkaba is the star tetrahedron, and it's the ascension light vehicle. It's a sacred geometry that if you can energetically connect with it, it aids and supports your ability to astral travel, to remote view, and to ascend, basically. So work with that also, they were saying. And where are we? Okay. Do past life regressions and repatterning also. So we on Spirit Mind Family, that's our Patreon group. We did this on the live video last night. In fact, for those of you that are part of that group, a regression and repatterning meditation that was very powerful. Spirit Mind Family has a wealth of spiritual material and meditation that I don't share anywhere else, and it's Patreon. It's $5 a month. Well, there's actually a free option also, but if you want to get all the good stuff, it's $5 a month. I would appreciate the donations, honestly, but and people may chime in and tell you that what we offer far exceeds what you're spending for that. And I know that sounds self-serving, and this is going to sound a little bit more self-serving, but it's not. But I'm about to do a whole series on my channel program called Power Attunements, and that's learning how to utilize spiritual energy in order to manifest your reality. And it's 7 steps. I've been in this circle for a while with law of attraction teachers, some of the best and well-known ones. And I can say, I don't believe that there's anything quite like this out there, at least not for under $1,000. This 5-part course, and this 10-hour course, including a 2.5-hour pre-recorded material, is only $200. So I will leave information on the pinned comment, or you can email us for that. But I encourage you guys to do it. It's really, really good, if I do say so myself. I know that sounds self-serving, but they really wanted us to learn this because it's going to enhance your spirituality, and it's going to allow you to understand who you are as spirit, allow you to connect more easily with your guides and angels, and apply that to manifesting your reality, because you're doing that anyways. So we want to do it as conscious beings. So anyway, next thing was increase the breath work. So we need to practice now more than ever yoga, ascension exercises, breath exercises, pranayamas, all that stuff. And they're saying to just just reiterate to do presence, and doing presence is nothing more than stopping your thoughts. We have 65,000 of them per day, 95% subconscious. Tune into your breath and stay with your breath. Be aware of everything, focus on nothing. And you can augment that as you're aware of your breath, feeling your aura in your body slightly expanding with the inhale as your lungs expand with the air, and slightly contracting with the exhale. Now, the base practice I learned from Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. This augmentation I just got from Spirit, though I'm pretty sure other people are doing it. And I find it to be a really good triggering mechanism to stay in presence longer. So practice that as well. And of course, heart brain coherence. We have plenty of videos on that. That's all free, by the way. And take care of your body. They're saying exercise, take care of your body, eat well. There's so much pressure from society. Couple that with the crazy frequencies that are up and down. Taxes our bodies, it taxes our system, it taxes our energy fields. I mean, at the end of the day, it's for upgrades, it's to increase our capacity to channel energy, and thereby be able to connect with higher frequencies and higher dimensional realities. So that's the end game of what's going on. But the process can be very, very difficult. But if you take care of your bodies, it doesn't have to be. And if you take care of your mind and your emotions, Heart-brain coherence will do that. Exercise will do that. It does not have to be. And that's the point I'm trying to make. And Zeke actually, to talk a little bit about how one works with the Merkaba. We're going to do that. But one way to do it, you get very relaxed, very present. Do what I was just saying. Open your heart and visualize the Merkaba. It's a starred tetrahedron. So it's basically like a three-sided pyramid pointing up and a three-sided pyramid pointing down, almost like a three-dimensional Star of David. And you sit with that and you allow it to spin and you let the spinning increase. Now, I think you can do it either way. Some teachers will say the upper one spins clockwise, the lower triangle that points down spins counterclockwise, but let them spin and just sit with that and set an intention of what you want to do, where you want to go. Like maybe try traveling to the moon. You might even see wrecks of alien crafts, which, in my opinion, is why some of the 1969 photos were doctored. Not that we didn't go to the moon. I mean, I don't know. We may or we may not have. But this is also shared by, oh God, what's his name? Dr. Stephen, from the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Oh, I can't remember his name. But this is what he believes also. That they found like alien crafts like on the moon, basically, and alien artifacts. So anyways, I have a few divination decks. I have a couple of ones that I haven't worked with for a while also. Oh, thank you. Please hit the like button. Yes, please. Let's please get Stephen Greer. Thank you, Laura. Stephen Greer. Dr. Greer, yes. Let me go back to that. Please hit the like button. And great meditation. Oh, thank you for that. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. So this is the Starseed Oracle deck, which I love. It. This has amazing artwork, and you're going to get your own message because the message is what you notice in the artwork. My visual is relatively clear. Sometimes it's not, but today it's relatively clear. All right, let me just clear my mind a second. Okay, here we go. So it says portal, doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. Now you can use the Merkaba to step through portals also. 33 on the chat, which means we lost about 10 people, but that's okay. The ones that are really with us are here. So things that you may notice, maybe your personal message. I'll hold this up for a second. But this is about never to be afraid to step into portals. Our survival instincts as humans will tell us it's dangerous because our survival instinct does not like the unknown or the unpredictable. It fears that you're going to die, basically. So that's where the fear and anxiety about the unknown comes in. In order to ascend, we have to overcome that because every level of initiation or every level of awakening we have, we die and we're reborn into a new consciousness or new reality. So if you fear dying, you fear living, and you fear ascension, and it just ain't gonna happen. So the also the Merkaba is very protective. If you feel a little bit leery, if you feel like you need a little bit of extra support, sometimes I do, nothing wrong with that. Archangel Michael is excellent energy. And for two reasons. One, that it is known through many channels, and some of them predate Christianity and Judaism, by the way, that this is a protective energy. And then the belief is in it in the collective is so powerful that it really adds to that. So, and in the Bible, right, Michael or Michael is the chief of the angels, right? So, anyway, and what it says here is doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. So for some of you may get a lot of openings of doors or new beginnings. Remember, this is a 1 month. I mean, now you'd have to look in your personal numerology to see what your personal month is. For me, it's a 24, which reduces to 6. But so my personal meaning is a little different, but the universal meaning is kind of like a very general kind of blanket effect that affects everybody. But your personal month really is what tells the story in your life and things that are going on with you. So anyway, So I also have I thought here we go. This is called the Divine Abundance deck that I used to work with a lot, which I haven't for a while. And here we get a message. Yeah. Christine's all saying, say, hit that like button. I'm not saying it enough, so I'll say for you guys, hit that like button. Thank you. If if you like it, we want everybody to be authentic. If you don't like what's going on, then we're good. But the idea is that the YouTube algorithm is set on kind of like a popularity scale. So when a lot of people like videos, they push it out a little bit more. My ears are buzzing. Spirit is like saying, yeah, go for it. I think that they are hopeful that more people will see this. I know, from the human vantage point, I certainly am. So anyway, let me clear my mind, because if I'm thinking I'm not connecting properly. Here we go. Got my card, or your card as it were. Karma. There's nothing from a past life that can't be addressed in the current life. You can repattern from other lifetimes. You can learn the lessons and clear the karma. You can learn how to go to the Akashic fields and change the contracts, or erase the contract. Now, you have to learn before you can do that, because what is karma? It's not a punishment. It's not retribution. It's patterns of repeating energy. It's learning. Now, in some cases, karma can be retribution. Sometimes that's necessary. But for the most part, it's patterns of repeating energy. Good example is I'll have a client come in. I don't understand why I'm attracting one abusive relationship after another. I must have been a horrible abuser in another lifetime. I'll tell that person, no, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means you were abused in other lifetimes also. And your soul resonance, as it interfaces with the new physical body, that soul patterning comes into your new physical body, and you repeat the same cycles from other lifetimes. So how do we learn? We make different choices. And in this lifetime, we have at least a greater semblance of free will than we had in another lifetime. In another lifetime, if you were in an arranged marriage and your partner was beating the crap out of you, you pretty much had to grin and bear it. But that's not the case now, because humanity is evolving and getting ready to evolve into a level where we can express more free will. So anyway, that's that card. So they're saying, on top of everything that we've been saying, maybe to understand a little bit more about your personal karmic history. Again, that goes back to understanding more about past lives. That was actually one of the suggested exercises for this month. And last but not least, in honor of Mr. Floyd, who I believe is working now and not with us. Excuse me, Mr. Floyd's channelings. He changed his name, and he always does a nicest oracle card. He was kind enough to give me a deck of these. So, and I love the Egyptian deities, so I was like, hey, I'll use these cards. Yeah. Here we go. So we got a serpent of fire, priestess of the serpent sisterhood. This may be a statement on the divine feminine or divine feminine power. I wonder if I happen to have, or if I was actually smart enough to bring in the book, and I may not have been. All right, I'm not going to grab it. Oh, wait. It's like right in front of me. That expression, if it was a snake, I'd be ending this and calling 911 right about now. Cancel, neutralize that thought. All right. Serpent of fire. Now, serpent energy is amazing, and it kind of, in a way, can tie into dragon medicine, in the sense that I'll say that there's an overlap. So I'm just going to read just one paragraph for this. Isis, princess of the serpent sisterhood and queen of the serpent of fire, guide you through transformation now as your energy field grows stronger and old energies are burned away in the process of your growth. Trust that you are growing and are more capable than you have been previously. Do not assess your current ability based on past standards as they no longer apply to you. You are stronger and more powerful now than you have been before. You need to learn afresh what you are capable of, and Isis helps you now. And Isis can come in many forms and many different cultures. So it can be something else. But again, serpents are the healers. They're divine. They're divine feminine. They're the transmuters of poison into medicine. They shed skin. So you can take that symbolism and understand that that's a good final message for what's going on this month. All right, 50 minutes. At least we kept it under an hour today. So thank you everybody for being here. And again, if you guys want to hit the like button, that's great. If you guys want to do a little bit of a mediumship with me for free, because it's on YouTube, and get some messages. Thursday night at 7 p.m., we're doing our Lammas Candlemas celebration, and we're going to do messages from Spirit as I do on 8 times a year, overlapping the Celtic Sabbath, because I still love the Wheel of the Year. I don't really practice neo-paganism anymore, but I'm friendly towards it. And some of the techniques that I've learned, I've actually applied to healing and other things. So it's been very, very valuable training for me. And on another note, because I'm very into the Native American traditions, and I studied that first. When I started to learn about Wicca and neo-paganism, I just saw they were really the same. It's just the ancient Celts and Druids were in Europe, where there's different climate, different directions, and the Native Americans obviously were in America, but it's all earth-based. It's all about connecting to your power and being the healer and the light worker and the way shower and the amazing and extraordinary person that you really are. So that's what I have for you guys today. Blessings to all. We're going to end now. Love you.